Hey everyone, I'm Mecca here from myselfpublishedblueprint.com, and I am stoked today. I'm sitting down with one of my students, actually one of my original students who started way back when my self-publishing blueprint just started. Iona, and she's with us all the way from Australia. Iona, welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Hi.
Excellent. All right. Hey, so let's you got a unique story because you got your brand that you've been building, and you've also been doing kind of the, quote unquote traditional self-publishing route that we teach inside the blueprint. But can you tell us a bit about your story, how you started self-publishing, what got you into it, and how you ended up finding my self-publishing blueprint?
Yeah, sure. So I have a website called 30 Ever After, and it's about dating and relationships and coaching services.
Mm-hmm.
And my business is all around content. So I figured when I stumbled across Kindle publishing, I just thought, this is perfect for me. I can put all my content into books. And I started, like everyone else does, with the generic Kindle course that I won't name. It's very popular.
Yeah.
And realized how outdated it was when I started implementing everything. And I think I joined a whole bunch of Facebook groups and came across your name, and I think I messaged you a couple of times, and back then you were just launching Blueprint.
Yeah.
And I just thought the possibilities were so good to just earn an extra revenue stream that was passive.
Awesome.
And so I signed up.
Sweet. Now, how many books did you have before you signed up with my self-publishing blueprint? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think two.
Okay.
I had two. It was such a flop. I think today that one had like 5,000 words and it sold 2 copies.
Yeah, and then what was? Let's talk about some of the changes you went through when. So you signed up for the course, and then how did things change inside of your publishing business? Can you walk us through what was going on the first few weeks, first few months?
Yeah, well, I think the main thing is I wasn't going in blind anymore. I felt a lot more confident because there was a method and steps to follow. I think the keyword research was really helpful because I had in my mind all these ideas of things that I thought that people would love to read. And when I did the keyword research following that method, I realized that there was no opportunity there. Mm-hmm. So I think it just minimizes the risk of you spending, $200, $500 on a book, because in the traditional, one of the other popular courses, they sold it to me as, you only have to, this book cost me $25 to write, but that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah. When
not everyone was doing Kindle publishing,
right.
And you can get away with 5,000 word books. So yeah. I think the keyword research at the beginning of finding your niche mm-hmm. and what to write about, that saved me a lot of money.
And then, so you had like 2 or 3 books kind of going. And then what was your income like before you started my self-publishing blueprint? And then how did it change over the course of your first few weeks, months going into it?
Yeah, I was making I was selling like 1 copy every couple of days. And whenever mm-hmm. I saw the spike in the bar chart, I was so happy.
Right? Yeah.
This is my first couple of months, right? I was only earning like maybe $10, $30 a month. Mm-hmm. And then I took the blueprint and it's just steadily increased ever since. I made my first 1,000 in September.
Cool. So just a couple months after you started, looking back at those first few months, what could you have done differently to speed up the process of making that first $1,000 month?
Yeah, I should have just followed the method. Like in the course, you say, stay away from these niches, stay away if they've got, a lot of competition. And mm-hmm. being in the wellness and self-help area in my other business, I mm-hmm. just wanted to go for it. But right. It's actually a lot harder. Mm-hmm. So I should have just gone with the research method to find niches, even if they were topics that I wasn't interested in writing about. Now I've got a portfolio of books under my pen name, and they do a lot better than the books under my own name.
Right. And how's the Facebook group inside my self-publishing blueprint? How has that helped your success? Get going, because I know you've been active, not the most active member compared to some members, but right compared to Jacob or yeah. But how has that group compared to any other groups that you might have been part of? How's that helped?
I honestly think it's the best Facebook group related to Kindle publishing out there, just because it's active and it's full of relevant information of people who are doing it in real time. So at the moment, I see a lot of talk about Amazon advertising, which is perfect because that's what I'm experimenting now. And just to see others have trial and error, it just saves me the time as well. And everybody's so genuine about helping me. Like, I always get an answer right away, and you're pretty active as well. Like,
totally,
you always answer to my comments.
Well, I'm still publishing, so being in that group is just like I'm still publishing. So where else am I going to hang out, right? No, that's excellent. And now let's talk. So a lot of people kind of come into it where they're in a situation like yourself, right? So they have their personal brand that they're kind of building up, and they really want to stick with that. But it's probably in something that's super competitive, like you said, relationship niche, which we know is massive, very lucrative, but so hard to just break in there when you're new and you're starting off. What advice could you give people who have that personal brand they want to build, but they want to create that passive income as well? Could you share some of your roadblocks or stumblings that you faced?
Yeah, I think quality content. So when you're writing under a pen name, it's so easy to outsource everything. But when it's under your name, I would recommend either write it yourself or write a really detailed brief for others to write it for you in your voice. Also, just setting expectations. Like, this is a long-term game. If you're going to create books under your name as part of your brand, you also have to come up with a marketing plan to get it out, build your list, because it's your baby and it says a lot about you.
How has the blueprint helped with your personal brand?
It's helped me think about how I can use publishing as another stream to get new people onto my list and to get people going to my website. So you talk a lot about building a list and creating fans, and that's what I've kind of been doing. So all my programs, they're priced at maybe $49 to $297, so it's a higher entry point for other people. But the books, pricing them at $299, it's such an easy way for them to buy into whatever I'm offering. And then if they liked reading what I wrote, then they'll check out my other things.
So you're using them as a funnel towards your higher ticket products.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a spike in sales? Like, have you noticed an increase in sales since you've been kind of marketing your own personal brand, your own personal books a bit differently now?
Yeah, definitely. I have people emailing me that they've read my books and they've joined my list and they've joined my Facebook group. So they've definitely helped community. And it was so cost effective as well. Like, the book cost me $180 to produce altogether.
Right.
I published it since, I think, April. So since then, it's been making me a consistent income, but it's getting people into my list. And
that's the most important thing, right? Getting them on your list, so you can funnel them to your larger ticket products. That's one thing I've noticed from you from the beginning was you understood the concept and understood what Kindle publishing was. You use it as a funnel. You use it as that front end offer to get them onto your list, so you can sell the larger ticket items to them down the road. It's the long game, exactly like what you said. You got to think about it at the long game, right?
Yeah, and even if you're running penning, or if you choose to get into this business at all, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, I see people doing. You may not get your first winning book in the first 2 months. You just gotta keep trying, because once you do, it's all uphill from there.
Right. Talk about when you made your first $1,000 month. What was that like? What did it do for your mind, your confidence? Did you celebrate it all? Did you go for dinner with the husband or anything? What can you share some of those experiences?
Yeah, it was so exciting. So, like, as I was inching to the first 1,000, I remember saying, like, I would be in the living room and I'd show the Kindle book report, like, it says, like, sales to month, and show my husband. And he was like, oh, wow, that's great, babe. Like, as in, I think for the first time he knew, like, I was onto something and that it was working.
Yeah.
And then I think when I hit the first 1,000, it was through a chunk of earnings from Create Space. And it was so exciting. It was just more like a relief,
Right.
knowing that I invested into this other business and it worked.
How did that affect your confidence overall?
Oh, it definitely gave me the confidence to pursue other things and to grow 30 Ever After and my brand. And I'm rolling out more novels, but I think I'm going to spend more time on them and spend more time marketing them this time. So I hope you have an extension of your course in blueprint for something like that.
Yes, I'm working on some. You can't see the whiteboard behind me, but yeah, I'm working on something bigger and better. That's really going to help expand people's businesses. So for sure. Okay, if you could now, you've taken, how many courses have you taken? You've taken this one, and then the other famous course that everybody knows when you mention a 5,000 word book. Can you talk to people who are kind of debating the two? Because I know I did a review on all three courses, but can you, people who are thinking, who are probably watching this video, they're thinking of maybe getting into the blueprint, maybe taking one of the other courses. Can you talk to them and help them out?
Yeah, honestly, it's a no-brainer. I've purchased two, and I've looked into a couple of courses that are priced higher than yours. I think 400 to 500. I'm not going to name names.
Yeah.
So those were a no, because you can get from Blueprint everything you need if you want to publish in nonfiction. The other course that everyone buys for, I think it's priced at
67.
67, and then if you want to join a group, it's another 47.
I'm just saying it. We're talking about K-Money Mastery and Self-Publishing Revolution, right? Just getting it out there. There's no point in doing smoke and mirrors anymore. Everyone knows the two other main courses out there. You took K-Money Mastery.
Yeah.
Keep going. Let's just. Yeah.
All right. Yes, I took K-Money Mastery, and the sales pitch was great, right?
And it is.
All the results that he was saying, like, he spent $20,000 in the book. It's 5,000 words, and he made like 4 times the money.
No brainer.
Yeah. But it's not realistic. This was in, I think, 2000 and in the early 2000s when he was doing it.
I think like 2014-ish, maybe 13, somewhere around there. But yeah, a couple years ago is when it started.
It's just super saturated now, and it's unrealistic. And I'm a member of the group, and it's not that active, and the information in the course is really it's really outdated. Mm-hmm. I don't think he publishes anymore. So
not to my knowledge.
And Kindle publishing has changed since 2012 a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's really outdated. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
you're starting out and you legitimately want to see results.
Right, because you noticed right away, you were saying that a few of the beginning lessons, and when I started my self-publishing blueprint, I started it for people like yourself, because I went the exact same path you did. And I was like, but this just doesn't seem right anymore. This is working so much better. And I tested out different books using, different methods, which eventually would end up being my self-publishing blueprint. What were some of the initial lessons that when you read them or when you watched the video lessons that you were like it clicked in your mind and you're like, oh my God, that's exactly the missing piece. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah. The keyword research pyramid.
Okay. So the stacking or keyword pyramid, whatever you want to call it, that was a big game changer for you?
Yeah, that was a key thing, because that just one method decides what books you're going to publish and what you're going to spend $200-300 on. And I don't know about you, but as a small business owner, you don't have a lot of cash to drop.
No, not at all.
You have a book fail.
Right. It's you're putting like I remember like I had $300 and the book was going to cost me 200. I needed that to do as well as possible because it was going to be a little bit until I was going to come up with enough money to do the next book.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
you don't have a lot to play with. So that was great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your Amazon Kindle advertising stuff because that's what I'm diving into.
Right.
What else? Ooh, working with VA. That was good.
Cool.
Because when you're using Upwork, you don't know if you're going to get scammed. You don't know if people are charging the right prices. So I think the course and the group has been great for just making sure that I hire the right people.
So let's talk about that. So just like learning how much more confident are you when you're hiring assistants for various tasks in your business?
So much more confident. I think I was hesitant to hire somebody before just because I didn't know what I was looking for and what I needed them to do. Because the whole I don't do review swaps anymore. But when I was doing them, I wasn't sure who to hire, what to look for, or how to train them, what to ask them for.
Okay, I definitely want to touch on this. So you're not doing review swaps anymore. Good girl. So can you share what you're doing to promote your books? And because this is something I've been preaching, and people will be like, "Well, is anyone else doing this other than you?" I'm like, "Yeah, they are. They're just all in my course." Can you talk about what you're doing to promote your books now and how it's been working for you so far?
Yeah, so with 30 Ever After, like for example, I've got a book about texting men.
Yeah.
And I just promote that on my website. I promote it in all my emails. I've got about a couple thousand people on my email list, so that helps. And then every time if they buy another book, they'll get an email sequence and it promotes the other books. So that's how I do it with my personal brand. But if you don't have a list, I've been doing the free giveaways to get organic reviews.
Okay.
And then I've been using advertising, AMS.
Wait, so you're talking about social media, email marketing, and using AMS. These methods actually work?
Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's like this is a marketing game.
Totally. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you're in it long term, the last thing I want to do is get a penalty from Amazon.
Right. You know?
So.
Yeah, because they hand out penalties for breathing now. So, right? Yeah, you want to make sure you're doing that. So when did you stop review swaps?
Probably a couple months ago. I think when I saw in the group that a couple of people had received warnings.
Yep.
And I had received warnings for things I didn't even do,
right?
Asking me if my content was original, and it was.
Yeah.
And so I was starting to get concerned that they were doing a serious crackdown.
Right. Yeah, and that goes to show you, right? They're just passing out warnings to everybody and hoping stuff will, right? They don't really know what they're doing, and you know it's such a big company. It's hard to, I'm sure, monitor everything. But good for you for stopping review swaps, understanding that hey, there's better ways to market and rank and promote your books, and that's awesome because that's. Well, you know, I've been preaching that inside the Facebook group and really starting to talk a lot more about it on my channel as well. But it's good for you for coming out here and telling everybody as well. So appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that you're constantly looking for new ways to do things the right way. I know a lot of people in the group are hesitant about doing review swaps because it's not the right thing to do, and there are other effective ways of doing it, and that's what you show in the blueprint and in your video content.
Excellent. Hey, is there anything else that you want to add? You feel free to plug your course or plug your what do you call it? Your website, your company, your 30 Ever After. Like you can plug it.
Yes. So I have 30 Ever After, and I help single women find the relationship they're looking for. So I have everything from one-on-one coaching and courses, and of course books that you can check out. It's 30everafter.com. But I think one nugget of advice is if you have a book that's a flop, do not give up. I think I've got about 20 books in my portfolio, and to be honest, only like 3-4 of them sell consistently.
Right.
And they're not even under my name. I made so many mistakes in the beginning, and sure, I haven't recovered the losses for those books, but it works. You get better at it.
Right. You're absolutely right, and you only need a couple books to take off to make up for those other books, right? Like it's just, yeah. So
Yeah, I think people give up before they find a winner and just think that's it. But
yeah.
as you join the group, follow the method, and keep working at it, you'll hit there eventually.
Exactly. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking some time and sharing your story and your successes and some of your failures with everyone, because I think people watching this they'll be able to relate to the path that you've taken, because I think it's the path that so many people take. So hopefully you've been able to help kind of steer them in a direction. So appreciate it, Iona, and yeah, until next time, speak to you soon.
All right, thanks. Bye.